Hey everybody, it's Friday. Time for another weekly video. How's everyone going? Alright, last week we talked about losing fat. Let's change modes a little bit. How to change your thoughts. Okay, so this one's about mental health, as you may be able to pick up. Alright, let me make my head, I'll go small. I think I've got a bit of stuff coming up on the screen. In this video, how to change your thoughts. Man, complex problem. Sounds like I'm solving it simply. It is simple, but it is not easy. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so where's my next? All right, first we're going to learn about noticing. And then we're going to go into thought disputation, and then additional practices to help change your thoughts. All right, noticing. So in order to change your thoughts, first you need to actually notice the thoughts. But it's not always thoughts that are the first thing you notice. You may actually be able to feel emotions, or you may feel things in your body, or you may notice your behaviors or actions changing. So what we have here is the cognitive model. Okay, and basically an event or something will often trigger a thought or a bodily sensation or an action or an emotion. Now all of these four here, down here, they are all related. So your thoughts can affect how your body feels. Your body can affect what emotions you feel. Okay, so they all interplay. Yeah, so let's get into some examples. Let's just, yep, there we go. So the event, having a terrible set, maybe you fail on bench press, or maybe you're not able to get the same number of squats or something like that, just using a really relative. Or maybe there could be social, something like that. Someone says something, or you see something online and it makes you feel bad. Anyway, there's a triggering event, having a terrible set. Then you may notice you're having thoughts. Why can't I do anything right? Or I suck at this. Okay. And that thought could kickstart some emotions of sadness, hopelessness, shame, perhaps. Now, what does that feel like in the body? Maybe there's hot butterflies in your stomach, maybe some nervous shaking in the hands, so that the body is actually experiencing something. And then there'll be actions. You may act or behave different way. Maybe you have poorer performance in the session because now you're doubting yourself. You might quit the session or quit the gym for a little while. You may have lower confidence, and that might show in your posture. So these things all are intertwined, and you can notice any one of these or multiple of them. So you may notice the thought and then start paying attention to your body. What do you feel? And then maybe, do I feel any emotions? And then how am I behaving? So getting better at noticing is really important, because if you don't notice, then you'll never be able to grab the moment to interact, or you won't be able to react differently. If you don't notice, you'll get swept away by the emotion. So noticing is really important. If you don't notice, you'll get swept away with the emotion. So start paying attention. Okay, once you've now noticed that something is not quite right in your mind, or you're having some thoughts that are really negative, you now need to dispute them, debate them in a way. You need to come up with some different ideas. So why thought disputation? Take a look at this. These are two nerve cells, neurons, connecting to one another. Look at that. Look how they just joined. Let's do that again one more time. Look at these nerves. The one on the top is reaching down to the one on the bottom. The one on the bottom is reaching up. Then they grab onto each other. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Okay, so let's have a look at the next slide, hopefully. Yes. So then we have neurons that once they start connecting, they get stronger and stronger. And then it's more likely that you then act that way. So once we start having negative thoughts, the more we tend to have them, the stronger their connections get, and the more automatic we fall into those thoughts. And so once you're having a negative thought pattern, now you're in a negative thought cycle. Okay, so often a negative thought will trigger further negative thoughts. So if you suck at the gym, or so if you suck at the set, that might bring up thoughts of how you had a failed relationship recently and now you're single and no one likes you, or Maybe you are thinking that you can't do anything right, and you come up with maybe times at work when you failed or embarrassed yourself. So the negative thought will trigger further negative thoughts because you're in this rut, you're in these grooves cut in the snow, and your skis have fallen into them. Okay, so we've got to break free. We've got to come up with a new pattern of thinking and dispute the thoughts. So we've got to get into a more positive groove. And so what we're going to do is just quickly check in what was going through my mind just now in a way that's noticing. We're looking for the thoughts, and you could even check in with the body. What happens if I continue to think this way? That's another good question to ask yourself. What sort of person do I become if I keep having these thoughts? And then what is a more healthy way of thinking? Okay, how do I get out of this negative rut just now? You can actually kind of think of that. When are some examples in the past when I was doing well? So now we've got to start trying to think of some different, more positive ways of thinking to get out of that negative trap and move into maybe our next set. We've got to be a bit more positive. Okay, so we've got to dispute the thoughts. We're going to say what was going through my mind, what happens if I continue to think this way, and then what is a more healthy way of thinking. If you can't come up with some healthy ways of thinking, ask yourself, when are some examples in the past when I was doing something well? Start thinking about yourself in a better way to break free from that negative cycle. Okay, we want to strengthen our positive connections, okay, the ones that think nice. Gratitude journaling is a good way of doing this, strengthening connections. Now, additional practices, you guessed it, meditation helps a lot with this. Why does meditation help? It improves self-awareness because you're able to notice your thoughts, feelings, actions, and what's happening in your body. Because during meditation, all you're doing is noticing. You're strengthening your noticing muscles. It strengthens your ability to let go of difficult thoughts and emotions and then start thinking in a different way. So when you're meditating, you're having a thought, you notice the thought, and then you practice letting go. So you're also strengthening your letting go muscles as well. And then also, actual peace and calm. You can feel that immediately at the end of a meditation session. You'll feel a lot more relaxed when you've been focusing on your breathing or doing nothing. Okay? Now, how do we do meditation? Really simple way I recommend to everybody who's like a beginner would be Headspace app. It's worth the money. Give it a shot. It's got so many different types of meditations, and it's designed for people who don't know much about meditation. If you think this is all weird, hippie stuff, that's fine. Check out Headspace. It makes it very understandable. Now, if you want this is slightly more hippie stuff, but it's still very accessible. The Miracle of Mindfulness, a great, very small book that explains how to be mindful. Really, really cool shit. This one is great. If you are having really terrible feelings, pain, Full Catastrophe Living teaches you how to free your body and mind to face stress, pain, and illness. Really, really good. This one's chunky, but it's great. And then Waking Up. It's a guide to spirituality without religion. This one talks a lot about meditation. It's quite trippy, this book. Really cool. Spins you out a little bit. It's awesome. A lot of cool, like thought experiments as well. Sam Harris also has a Waking Up app. It's called Waking Up. That one is a bit more esoteric and complex. So that's not, I don't even use Waking Up at the moment because I need more help. So I'm using the Headspace one again, basically. So Waking Up is for like heavy lifters. All right, enjoy your weekend. Say hello to me. Send me some questions about this if you liked it. See ya.